Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the campaign show. I am your host, Patrick Howley. It's good to see you. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you had a better weekend than I did. I hope everybody out there had a really excellent weekend because this week, man, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. It's going to be nuts. We still haven't gotten to the bottom of this whole situation with the dead guy on the pond in Martha's Vineyard, the Obama chef, right? And, of course, the Secret Service never told us who was doing coke in the White House, who had the cocaine. Where'd the cocaine come from in the White House? They tried to pin that one on the White House tour guests, on the White House tour visitors, the nice folks from Appleton, Wisconsin, who show up and do a White House tour. That's who they decided to try to frame as being cokeheads in the White House. Are you aware of this?
Oh, those poor tours. I mean, we don't know where these people came from, but hey.
Well, Hunter Biden, Aaron, our new producer, is doing an excellent job. So give it up for him. Thank you. We're taking the campaign show to new heights here, and as the politicians sink to new lows. Really, it's sort of an inversely proportional relationship. The worse they do, the more clownish, the more stupid, the more corrupt, the better that we do in terms of making fun of them, right? And that's just how it is. Not to be cynical about it, but they continue failing, and we continue making fun of them, and then they don't like us. They try to censor us. It's been said before, but they hate us because they ain't us. Actually, is what is at work there. That's the psychological tick behind it. Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman says that, when Joe was talking to all of these friends of Hunter, these business associates of Hunter, you remember the 10% for the big guy and whatnot, is Joe getting a cut? Well, it turns out, they were chatting about the weather, apparently, according to Democrat Congressman Dan Goldman. I don't know if I believe him. Let's take a look.
So to confirm, you're saying that the speakerphone conversations, they don't seem concerning to you because there was no specifics about business, and it just seemed like
it was clear that it was as part of the daily conversations that Hunter Biden had with his father, and it was and sounded like most of the time now President Biden didn't even know who the people he was at dinner. He was just asked to say hello. And he would, talk about the way he described it several times. They asked over and over and over. He described what the weather was. How,
the weather? Come on!
What's
I'm
going
not buying
on your end? The witness was very, very consistent that none of those conversations ever had to do with any
not buying
business
it. The weather?
Or
I don't think
transactions.
so.
They were purely what he called casual conversations.
Is Creepy Joe even capable of having a coherent conversation about the weather?
Hey, emphasis on Goldman. Just saying.
Goldman, I don't know if I trust him. He might be a little devious Goldman. He may speak with forked tongue. Meanwhile, to clarify things for America, here is Creepy Joe Biden talking about how he wore cufflinks to a 9th grade dance.
I went to a Catholic grade school. We didn't often get invited to the cotillion, which was the local school down the street, Mount Pleasant School. And so I got invited, and I was going to go. I was all excited about going. I think it was 9th grade, maybe it was 8th grade, a little dance. And there was a guy who was a good athlete. I was a relatively good athlete. He was a good athlete from the school, the other school, big guy. Became friends, but so I'm getting dressed, and I didn't have a shirt to wear. So my mother got my uncle's shirt, who was a smaller man than my dad, and French cuffs and rolled up the cuffs so that who looked like it would fit. And we couldn't find my dad's cufflinks. So my mom went and got a nut and a bolt. I wonder why she was downstairs in the laundry room looking for it. And I said, Mom, I can't do this. They'll make fun of me. I'll be embarrassed.
We will make fun of you.
Anybody comes up and says anything to you, you look at them and say, and here's what she told me to say. This guy, Frank, came up to me and said, hey, look at Biden. Look what he's got here. Hey. And I looked at him and said, you don't have a pair of these?
So as America ambles into World War III, Creepy Joe Biden remembering a cufflink story from his past, from his highly disputed past. The other kids are going to laugh at me, Jack. I don't want the other kids to laugh at me, call me names like Creepy Joe Boo Boo. That was weird. Maybe that was kind of his Rosebud moment, like from Citizen Kane. You know, that's the cuffling thing is maybe kind of what drives him. A lot of inconsistencies in Joe Biden's rambling remembrances from his recollections, from his addled mind, and ultimately America is suffering for it. And a lot of places, you know, are thinking like, hey, if your government's really bad, like, hey, what happens if there's a coup and a new military junta that sort of comes in, like a new junta, like whole new people, like the old government's over, new junta. So in Niger, actually, the people who support the coup, okay, are against France because France was a colonial power there, and they think France is still trying to manipulate their country in order to get them into this World War III, to get the whole world into this World War III against Russia. So outside of the French embassy in Niger, these coup supporters were chanting for Russia. They were saying, long live Russia, long live Putin, down with Macron, down with France. So this is kind of a vibe. It's fine. This is, you know, we want to vibe with the people who are pro-Putin, obviously. Because as we've discussed here on this show, there's the New World Order. There's like, you know, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, Kissinger, blah, 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 you know, all them. Hillary. Ugh, Hillary. Ugh, remember her? She's still out there. She's like the witch in the woods. Don't go in the woods. Don't go near Hillary's house. Hillary's still out there. Keep the children away from Hillary's neck of the woods, right? Ugh, these horrible, evil, parasitical people, okay? They're the New World Order. They're against Putin, right? Now, I don't know Putin, right? Like, Putin's not my boy. You know, we don't hang out. I've never hung out with him, actually. Never even spoken to him, really. And yet, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Like, maybe if they hate Putin and they also hate me, then there are some commonalities between me and Putin, perhaps. Like, for instance, our dynamic nature, our grasp on power, right? Nobody's going to overthrow me here on the campaign show. You know, Putin has the savvy, you know, and he's got the eye of the tiger, frankly, you know, going up against the New World Order, not being intimidated, and he's not losing the war. You know, if anything, he's winning the war. And so that's what's going on. And meanwhile, in America, and this clip is a little vulgar, but it's pretty fascinating, actually. Apparently, these streamers were getting chased by the cops on stream. If only we could make content like this. You know, we're not going to commit any crimes, but let's say, you know, they're trying to railroad us for some completely ridiculous charge like they're trying to do to President Donald Trump. If they came and we were like, all right, well, you'll say, you know, driving.
Now. Fucking getting chased by the fucking cops, yo. What the fuck? What the fuck, yo? Damn, yo. No. Split, yo. I know one nigga, I know. What the fuck? My fault, blood. Damn, yo. Fuck. They not laying up, man. Stupid bitch. Stupid bitch.
Well, there's some pretty bold content from the world that the globalist oligarchs have given us, which is basically anarcho-tyranny. Anarchy, but not the kind of anarchy where it's like the system's going down and it's like they fulfilled their plan from Fight Club, you know, and like everything is just going into anarchy mode and people are running around and it's like, yeah, the government's not oppressing us. No. This is like anarcho-tyranny. It's like people fighting at Walmart, punching each other, you know, fleeing from the cops, all kinds of crime and shoplifting. And yet the tyrannical globalist regime still has an iron grasp of authoritarianism. So it's not like the anarchy, like, ha, get out of here, you globalist jackals. You don't rule us anymore. We're going to run free, like those clips of Australia during the scamdemic where there were cops chasing people on horseback and people are just running, just running outside. They're not allowed to be outside, right? So it's anarcho-tyranny. That's what anarcho-tyranny is. Like, it seems like anarchy, but really the tyranny is still, going on. Tyranny is not going anywhere unless the people, very peacefully, form some kind of effort to say, hey, we don't want to have this tyranny anymore. In Egypt, not long ago, a few years ago, when the Egyptian people threw out the U.S.-supported puppet regime, which was the Muslim Brotherhood, okay, they came together. It was a peaceful coup. They occupied the streets. They basically shut down the commerce of the country. There was nothing that could really get done, and they just would not stop until the fraudulent U.S.-backed government left. And then after that, El Sisi came in, and the whole politics of Egypt changed. But the people did that. The people threw out the puppet rulers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the bad guys continue to cover for Crooked Joe and all of his business dealings, sometimes, in America, I feel like a shirtless man getting slapped by a man in a wheelchair. That's how I feel. It's my mood.
Damn.
Yeah, see, I feel like the guy getting slapped by the man in the wheelchair. Like, you don't necessarily see it coming. You know what I mean? There you have it.
Madison Cawthorn looked different there.
That was good content. We like Madison Cawthorn, but Madison Cawthorn sits for Israel, He sits with Israel. And, ladies and gentlemen, here is actually an amazing little commercial that we have made about Vanish gun holsters, because I want you to buy a Vanish gun holster so that you can help this show and so you can get a good holster, because you're saying to me, oh, hey, Pat, listen, we love Vanish gun holsters. Obviously, it's a great product. Are you going to try to sell me this holster for $130, the full price? I don't know if I could pay the full price. I'm saying to you, no, not at all. I'm going to sell you this holster $50 off, $80. You think you could just walk down the street? There's going to be some other controversial internet host offering you a gun holster for $50 off? Let's take a look. Vanish gun holsters. This problem with uncomfortable holsters. If you have an uncomfortable holster and you don't use it, then your quest to defend yourself or others fails right out of the gate. That's why Vanish holsters are quickly becoming one of the most popular holsters in America. Thousands of customers say that it's the most comfortable holster ever, and when you get one, you'll never stop carrying. This holster also saves you money. That's because it fits 99% of all semi-auto handguns, works without a tactical belt, lets you carry in multiple positions, and it carries 2 fully loaded magazines. And best of all is that because you're a viewer of the campaign show, you can get it for $50 off. Just go to vnsh.com/Patrick to see if your gun will work with it and to activate your discount today. It's normally $130. Since you watch the campaign show, you will get a $50 discount at vnsh.com/Patrick. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the game. I'm one of those people now. But unlike a lot of them, I have a good product.
$50.
$50 off. No, I'm selling it to you for $80, but it's usually $130. So I'm giving you $50 off. Are you going to buy a Vanish gun holster, Aaron?
When I'm old enough to buy a gun, sure, let's do it.
We, the talent pool for the campaign show, it represents the future of this country. Younger people who are doing some great stuff. You can go to Instagram.com/the.campaign-show. I assure you, I don't run the Instagram page. So if you see excellent clips from the campaign show, it's one of our hardworking team members who are putting those up so that you can get some of the best highlights. And you can go to patrickreports.com, which was my personal website, and say hi to me. Say hello, because we're building, not a community, because that's cringe. A community is cringe. We're building like a neighborhood of awesome ballers. We're building like an Avengers, kind of. We're building kind of like I'm Wyatt Earp, or maybe we're like, what do you think? Like maybe like the '86 Celtics, maybe.
I do like to think of us as like the Avengers. We assemble Earth's mightiest heroes together to do one big team. You know what I mean?
You would know. I was a little bit before the generation where I know too much about the comic book universes and whatnot in the movies, but I don't really watch movies. Have you seen any movies lately? Have you seen the Barbie thing by any chance?
Thank gosh, no. You know, I never really understood how, a bunch of grown men can be sitting around debating about Barbie on Twitter. I get it. But at the same time, if it's to that level of cringe, I think it's probably in our best interest not to see it.
Probably pretty cringe,
I'm
yeah.
trying to get a little bit into Sound of Freedom, but unfortunately, I still haven't got my tickets yet.
Yeah, we want to support Sound of Freedom. And I guess you need to kind of be in the mood for that sort of thing. I, too, make movies about child sex trafficking. You can watch Save the Babies and Save the Babies 2. We're coming out with Save the Babies 3 very shortly, talking about Child Protective Services and how they kidnap little kids and, take them into a life of government sex slavery. So, support the people who are doing the good work to expose that, and hopefully the world will become a better place, and it will start here on the campaign show. I appreciate you. A lot of people ask, hey, Pat, why are you doing this show? Why are you spending every day, doing this show here? And to that I say, I don't know, but I'm better than Whoopi Goldberg. So just be cool with that. Am I not better than Whoopi Goldberg? Come on. Whoopi from The View. Whoop, whoop. Or me. You'd rather watch me for half an hour, right? I would. Watch me again tomorrow. Campaign show. I'll be right back here at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be on time tomorrow. Let's go.